Hey, welcome back. What was I gonna talk about? Well, I know where I'm going, at least for today. This is the right place. I did have one more note about the Bible, the Old Testament. What was that note, you might ask? It's about Abraham. This is kind of what I was talking about yesterday. Just, it's so weird. The Old Testament's so weird. Sometimes you think, well, it's kind of weird in a good way. Because it's not like all fairy tale stories and like, oh, and Noah saved the boat and everybody was happy all the time. It's like Noah's story ends with him getting drunk and his kids seeing him naked and being like, oh, this is weird. And then that's it. That's Noah's story's done. What? That's kind of cool that that's in the Bible. The weirdness comes when you think, because it's in the Bible. Like, because it's in the Bible, there's this context of, well, this is part of God's plan. God wanted this. Shoot, I hate these stupid things. Oh, there's two of them. I can't handle it. Get me out of here. Shoot. Do the thing now. Are you gonna do the thing? There's a story about Abraham and his daughters, which is not fun to read, where his daughters are like, I don't even know why they do this, but they say something like, well, we have to sleep with our dad because we need to continue our line or something. And then that's just the story. And you're like, well, it makes it more real because that stuff did happen. But, and then you're like, okay, that's cool that the Bible's like not shying away from these kinds of stories. But then you're like, well, this is God's plan. He wanted this. He could have stopped this. That's the whole thing. Like, why did he want this? Why did he put it in his book? This is like God's biography, and he's like, ooh, I like when parents sleep with their kids. It's like my thing. What? Why? It would be like a biography of a guy, and he's like, oh, I slept with my daughter. Well, no, that's bad. It's gross. I don't want to read that. Bible is weird and bad and good, I guess. I don't know. I'm a Christian. The Bible's perfect. But what about that part where Abraham slept with his daughters and he got drunk and... yeah, I mean, I don't know. Abraham, I mean, it was... when you read... part of it is just like, well, things used to be like this and it makes me sick. Because Abraham kept saying... He did this a bunch of times. Where it makes you think like, well, is he kind of into this thing? Where he's like, oh, my, what's happening? I can't see anything. My wife is actually my sister. And then they say, well, Abraham had to say that because if he told them that it was his wife, they would have killed him. And then what happens when Abraham tells them that it's his wife? They don't kill him. They're like, anybody who touches his wife is dead. Well, then Abraham, why'd you do that? You didn't have to. It's just weird now that you just did that. Because the Pharaoh or whoever, the leader of the Middle East or whatever, slept with his wife because he told them it was his sister and not his wife. Because he was afraid if he told them it was his wife, they would have killed him. But then he does tell them it's his wife, and they're like, why did you lie to me? Right? What? I'm not gonna kill you. Why would you think that? And what? It's so weird. The Old Testament is so weird, and Ugh, the New Testament is so different. I mean, it's really Genesis. I think that's the weirdest thing. Oh, it said don't go in the transport, though. But maybe I should open that door. Genesis definitely has the weirdest stories, like Abraham and Moses. Then you get into stories. I like Kings. Kings is a cool book. It's about David and Saul, right? The king. And David's a pretty interesting king of. He starts out as like this little kid who, so if it was a shepherd or whatever, and then he kills Goliath. And he becomes this folk hero. Like, oh, this little kid killed the Philistine who's like 8 feet tall. How do you do that? He should maybe be king. And Paul, who is the current king, is like, wait, I mean, I'm the king. This kid can't be the king. So he tries to kill him. But David gets away or whatever. And then I feel like Paul and David end up becoming friends. Does that happen? I mean, it's a pretty cool story. Like, they have this Catch Me If You Can kind of rivalry where, like, David's really smart and cool and, like, the young guy, and Paul's always trying to catch him and kill him, but he respects him. It's really... They should make a movie out of it or something. Is Catch Me If You Can a new take on Kings? Oh, I think I have to go up this elevator. That's how I remember it. Maybe that's totally wrong. But I remember thinking, oh, it's a pretty cool book. I like it. When I read it in that Hebrew class. Wait, how do I get back up? Oh no, what do I do? Okay, wait, the walkthrough said that don't go through that door. Father Abraham, a manager, Father Abraham. Oh. This leads to Torvis transport access. Don't go there now. Instead, scan the lower, switch the echo visor, and use it to locate 3 sound waves. Shoot each of them. What? Torvis transport access. That's where I was. Wasn't it? There's a thing in there? Okay. I am one of them. And so are you. What do I do in here? Let me in. You're supposed to read the Bible to your kids, but a lot of weird stories in there. I guess you have to skip over them. Like, do you want to read your kid the story about the time Father Abraham slept with his daughters? I don't think so. Father Abraham was the great patriarch of the Christian and Jewish religions. Really? What did he do? He almost killed his son. He slept with his daughters. He told everybody his wife was his sister so that they could sleep with her. Torvis Bog. This leads back to Torvis transport access. Okay. Oh, I know what to do. I don't know. Whenever you talk about, I like talking about stuff like this here because I can just tell my real thoughts. Like, the Bible's weird. Is it good or bad? I don't know, but I know it's weird. I'm a Christian. Can we just accept that the Bible is weird? And like, whenever you hear the stories in church, they always have to be like, oh, the Bible's perfect, so I can't say anything bad about it. And I do remember the pastor would say, oh, like, the Old Testament's cool because Noah, it's not all fairy tales. Like, Noah has this really triumphant story, but then it ends with him getting drunk and being naked and his son seeing him and being embarrassed. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but why did God want that again? This is God's story, right? Why does he want that? If this was my story, God created the story. It's not like, oh, you mean, like, if I did a biography about me, I would want to put in all the stuff, the good stuff and the bad stuff. But God created the stuff. He could make it all good if he wanted. Why did he make it weird and gross? I know what a Christian would say. The humans are weird and gross. God's not weird and gross. God creates humans, we have free will, we do weird and gross stuff. But when he talks about Abraham, why doesn't he say it's weird and gross? And then God said to Abraham, stop doing this weird and gross stuff. Because it's weird and gross, I don't like it. Because I'm God and I'm good. He doesn't say that. He's just like, he talks to Abraham sometimes. Like, literally talks to him. And he never says anything about, well, sleeping with the kids stuff. He's like, I'm going to make you you almost killed your son for me? I'm going to give you 1,000 sons. Okay. But all the stuff is weird. What do I do here? I have 2 minutes left. I spent 2 full episodes bad-mouthing the Bible. I mean, God shouldn't be offended by this stuff. He knows how weird the Bible is. He wrote it, right? It's weird. I don't feel like I'm being sacrilegious. I've definitely been sacrilegious in the past, but I don't feel like this is me doing it. This is my honest reaction to the Bible. It's weird and gross and bad and dumb, and I don't like it. But part of that's cool, because, like, humans are weird and gross and bad and dumb, so the Bible reflects that. But the fact that it's in the Bible makes it think it was God's idea to do that. Why would he do that? Why wouldn't he just make people smarter and not want to do the things that happen there? I don't like it. I don't like it. What is this place? No. I mean, the part of me, it feels the, part of Christianity is like you have to accept things and you have to work backwards from a belief, which is not always the best way to operate. Because you think, if you're a Christian, you have to believe, oh, the Bible's perfect and everything God does is great, and you can't say anything bad about what's happening. What's happening? Oh, is this the mini boss? Caretaker class drone. Inside the glass tube, roll up the spider track. Bomb the circular spider track that leads around the tube. Robot arms for Tiger drone. As you near, boost across the other side of the arena. If you get knocked from your track, bomb up. What? Is there a spider track around here somewhere? What am I doing? I have no idea what this is. Okay. Maybe I just end there and try to figure out what to do. Yeah. I need other notes I can say about the Bible's bad. This was an interesting way to put it. Me. Stop complimenting yourself, you idiot. Adam and Eve, what does it say that humans are different from animals? We know good and evil. That's the truth. The truth. That's the truth. The story is the medium. The truth is the thing. It's not what actually happened. And the way the truth is revealed is through the story. The truth isn't the story, because that would be boring. If the truth was the story, then it wouldn't relate to me at all. Adam and Eve ate an apple. Who cares? What does that have to do with me? If the story was actually real, then it would have no relevance to me. But the fact that it's a story reveals the truth to everybody, that we have a higher calling to know, to be better, to know the difference between good and evil. That's what the apple told us. And also that now it hurts when we have birth, which is weird. God, why did you do that? Okay, see you tomorrow.